So I think we're entering one of the most dangerous periods that I can remember, probably in over 2 decades in this country. 10 million mass migrants, by definition, breaking the law in their first act of entering this country. Most of them didn't even come from Mexico. I mean, the day before I visited the southern border, you had a couple men from Lebanon who were not good actors, who had happened to be actually the ones who were apprehended. The many more who we haven't heard about, and even the 2 who are apprehended. What happens? They just get let go and come back for a trial date 10 years from now. You have what you're talking about. So I'm not going to, I personally am still somewhat dubious that Biden is even definitively going to be the nominee. I think it's a mistake that the Republican Party is making. Defining our own agenda as a beat Biden agenda, it's like what in warfare you call a feint. You lead your enemy to a false target only to actually have the real target be somewhere else, but it'll be too late to actually change. So, you know, I'm not God, I'm no prophet, and I presume nobody else in this room is either. We don't know how that's going to play out, but I think the best we can do is, at the very least, have a really clear-eyed sense of what we stand for. What are the core principles that guide us? It's things like what I said: the people we elect to run the government, not multinational, transnational, or deep state bureaucrats right here. And we will stand for that and call that out as we see it. Our moral duties to the citizens of this country, be unsparing in and scathing when necessary of our criticism of our own party for allowing the kind of atrocious behaviors we're allowing to see, even now how we're subsidizing Ukraine abroad. I think one of the things that we should adopt as a party plank here is, whether it's a 3-letter agency here that shouldn't exist, U.S. Department of Education, you could go ATF, you could go straight down the list. 3-letter agencies abroad should not be funded either if they're hostile to U.S. interests. WHO, WEF. These are international 3-letter agencies that are also hostile to our own interests. And I think that until we have a Republican Party that's at least cohesive in its ability to take those strong stands, then we can just expect far worse to come. But the best chance we have is to at least be clear. Can it be part of our own platform to say that we will defund the WHO because it is an international institution that is hostile to our own interests? And if the U.S. stops funding it, the WHO ceases to exist. At the very least, we have to be prepared to adopt those positions with clarity. And if not, we get what we deserve. It's sort of like what Thomas Jefferson said. He said, the government you elect is the government you deserve. And in some ways, it's easy for us to point to the other. It's a lot harder for us to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask ourselves whether we're standing for the right principles in the first place. And so that's what I would say.